Alright, welcome back to more Resident Evil 3 Remake. Man, I'm doing that a lot. In the last episode, people were in the death pit fighting Nemesis once again. When Carlos came to save us, and Nikolai still being a little prick. And now we're continuing our hunt for him. And ooh, what is that? Pretty. Let's just get the Magnum out. It looks cool. Wait, man, wait. Don't. If I can, save that dialogue, I'm gonna save that dialogue.
It's done. Give me the vaccine, you greedy son of a bitch.
No. You, Prince Mother. I like it. We shall make ours an ongoing arrangement. Now drop the gun!
Oh god. It's sort of similar to William almost. Sort of. A lot scarier though.
Have you ever seen anything so incredible? The data on this would be worth millions. But you know how it is. City's about to explode, and you can't put a price on life. Good luck!
Nikolai!
Jill!
Go after Nikolai! He's got the vaccine!
What about you?
We're running out of time. I've got this.
I know you do.
Look, just so you know, this is the last fucking time.
Yeah, you tell him, Jill. This fight's actually shortish. If you know how to do it. Shoot him once and you're good. What's up, brah? It's the Raiden time. Or I believe as they call the finger. But I like Raiden better.
Damn, it needs power.
And as you can see, there's 3 things that are down. Oh my god. Oh. What's up, man? Nope, run. How? How? Explain to me. Oh, there it is.
Did you? How about some more?
Oh no. Oh no. You do that. You're trying. You're really trying.
One power source remaining.
Oh yeah, and your thing's right out in the open, man. But yeah, this one is definitely the most dangerous. So save the sacks for this one. If I had any word of advice to you, it is
I'm gonna put you right back on your ass.
save the sacks for that one that's close to him, because insta-kills are insta-kills. I don't have time for that. Him punching me in the face repeatedly, I can heal it. him grabbing me and eating me, and I can't. You know? Come on, bad boy.
Come on! Next time, take the fucking hit!
Yeah, I don't think there's recovering from that. If you did, I would be
Good riddance.
like, I mean, come on. Come on. Who the hell would survive that? No, there's still some things over here, and discard. I actually have no use for you whatsoever. I have no use for handgun ammo. Alright, so that was the final boss of the game. And to be honest, they're both pretty easy. I will say this. This one is harder than William Birkin's final G form. But that being said, I don't think this fight is harder than Leon's final boss, which is a tyrant, or Claire's final boss, which is the crazy ass freaking chimera like Birkin. It's my least favorite boss in that entire game. Just because it's so wickedly fast, and if you get super careless in that fight, you get messed up real fast. I mean, if you get careless in this fight, you're gonna get messed up, sure, but only in one case will it cause instant death, and that's the power source close to him. It's ridiculous, dude. Overall, the bosses in each game aren't that hard. And I love how this room is so similar to the other one, except, you know, you don't have a walk path that leads over there and a walk path that leads over there. They make you think it is. No, it's just support beams. There's no doors on either side. Otherwise you would see it. Oh, I thought I had to click on it. I guess not. And it takes you up instead of down. That's another key difference. Yeah, no info, because this is it. Get ready for a good movie, guys.
You're not going to stop. Promised you this, didn't I?
No! Do you have any idea what you've just done?
No, don't care. My client ordered me to reduce Umbrella to rubber.
10 minutes until missile
Ah! The missile has launched. And that is my cue. Goodbye, Miss Valentine. Shame you didn't listen to me when you had the chance.
It's you! Shoot him!
I can't! I'll hit you!
Do it! You have to! There's no other way.
Realistically, I don't have this handgun on me. I have a Magnum.
Hey, I told you I couldn't leave you in a Carlos's world. That would just be too cruel. What about him?
Why'd you do it?
There's a price tag for everything. Even letting the world burn.
Who are you working for?
I'll tell you, if you get me out of here. I'll pay you whatever you want. You're a fool. You're a fool! If I die, you'll never find out the truth.
I don't mind a little detective work.
Jill, you alright?
There it is.
It's finally over.
So long, Percy.
I felt empty and cold as the heat from the blast washed over us. All this death wasn't caused by a monster making a virus. It was greed. Human greed. I decided then and there, the ashes of Raccoon City would be Umbrella's ashes too. I would end them, once and for all.
All right, and that is the ever, and I mean ever so controversial Resident Evil 3 Remake. Honestly, there's positives and negatives to this game. Negative, they didn't include everything from the original game. No park tower, no clock tower. They kind of combined both of those sections into the hospital. Like the park, they got rid of almost entirely. Like the subway is supposed to crash and you're supposed to wake up in the park area, right? And then you're supposed to take over as Carlos once Jill gets infected, and then run to the hospital. Whereas in this game, you know, you crash in the subway, you wake up in the underneath of the subway still, and you go to the street side, right? Go across the bridge and you fight Nemesis in his dog form for the first time, get infected, and Carlos carries you to the hospital. Whereas I think in the original game, you're at the park area, right? Still, and Carlos goes to the hospital and comes back and carries you. Not so in this game, he carries you to the hospital. So by that way, they effectively cut the park area, and the clock tower, I don't remember enough to realize where it's at in the story. Maybe that is the building in front of the park I'm thinking of, was the clock tower. Maybe the clock tower was part of the Raccoon City downtown segment. I honestly can't remember. Even though it's a lot of people's favorite section of Resident Evil 3, I never played Resident Evil 3. I never played the original Resident Evil 2. I never played the original Resident Evil 1. I played Code Veronica, but I suck at it. I can't get used to the controls, which is probably why I will never finish any of the original Resident Evil games, because I'm just not good at those controls. Like, I'm physically not good enough with those controls to beat the games. I can barely get a half hour into Code Veronica without messing up royally with my shots or movement or whatever because of how awkward and clanky it is. This is why they're called tank controls. You know, so they essentially used Carlos's hospital section to cut those areas people liked so much. I was right, it is Oliviera. That's what I thought it was. I might as well just call him Victor because I can never remember his name, to be honest with you. So yeah. You know, like, this game does have positives with its negative. Obviously, its negatives is that this game, while fun and fine, is a watered down scope. I'm gonna say scope because the games are relatively the same length, the original third game and this game, but the scope, the amount of areas you go to, has been drastically cut and streamlined in this version. And I can kind of see why they did it, because of their intentions with Resident Evil 2 Remake and Resident Evil 3 Remake, is to streamline the story. That's why they took out the options. Whereas every time you encounter Nemesis in Resident Evil 3, for the most part, they give you the chance to run away or fight. And that affected the outcome in the end. You know? And they cut that because they wanted to streamline the story and make it concrete and not vague pathways, like Ocarina of Time did with, you know, the Legend of Zelda series, essentially. Is what they were trying to avoid with this game causing. That being said, I do think the pacing of this game is really good. Because in every single episode, there's a cutscene. There's something going on story-wise. I cannot say the same thing for Resident Evil 2. There is a huge stretch in the police station where you're not really running into cutscenes of any way, shape, or form. You're wandering around, collecting, exploring, and that's fine and all, but it kind of hinders the pacing just a little bit in Resident Evil 2. That being said, I still prefer Resident Evil 2 to this game. It's bigger, it's better, and it's just more fun. Like, there's only one thing this game adds on to that that's mechanically enhances it, and that's the dodge mechanic. And I guess maybe the slightly more varied grenade launcher, because I think you have the acid and the flame. Or is that flame and explosive? Or do you have all three of those and they just add mine into this one? I don't know. Either way, and the other thing this game did great was Carlos. Changing Carlos completely. They made him a more memorable character, both personality and looks-wise. And I see people's complaints with Jill. Jill's supposed to be similar to Claire in a sense, but more experienced. Because Jill's supposed to be kind of sweet, you know. She's not supposed to be Ripley. A hard-ass, stone-cold, badass woman. You know, Jill has a soft side to her that you don't really see in this game. A lot of Jill in this game is that kind of Ripley-esque badass woman, which is fine, but they hit a layer of her in this game, which, to be fair, she's 2 months removed from a Spencer Mansion incident, which was all in one night, I'm pretty sure, over one night anyway. You get there at night, Right, so maybe a little over a day that game takes place in the time span. So she's 2 months removed from that horror, and she's trying to get it out there, and she's being shoved down and suspended and pushed down, which probably has detriments to her health. I still don't get the context of that scene. It's just her picking up. Like, it's literally just her picking up the thing. I don't understand it at all. But I still think she's a fine character in this game, even if they took that soft layer from her for the most part. They didn't really give her a chance to kind of show that side, really. Nothing. What did I just say? Come down here, shop. Yeah, and I bought that. That's the only thing I bought. Why? Because I'm a sucker for it. What is this? A manual of Stars combat knowledge edited by Chris Redfield. While held, physical feats such as perfect job become easier to perform, carry more to increase defense. That's actually pretty awesome. Skilled user to unlock simple locks when no keys available. Like, locked doors, I think? I don't know. Like, what is this? Hot Dogger? That's a weird name. Like to show off, the blade can be superheated, causing targets to burst in flames. Tachil's personal specifications, excellent grasp with exceptional accuracy and firepower. Oh yeah, the Raiden's like a mini version of the gun you used at the end of the game, and I still don't have enough points to buy it. That'd be a fun run through. You know, just I'm so close. Like I'm 40 points away from that. I just have to find like the easiest thing to do in the things and buy that and just have a run through it. Fuck. No. Like these are grind heavy. I don't think you can get every single one of these, actually. But either way, yeah, the game's mixed. It's got a mixed bag for sure. Mixed rap, everything, you know, all that. Obviously, it neutered the environments. I'm not gonna say it neutered the story. The story is the same, more fleshed out, more kind of realized. The story is better, in my opinion, than the original game. But they neutered the environment diversity in this game. So the story is better in the remake, but the environments and the exploration was so much better in the original game, and even I can admit that. And like I said, I've only seen playthroughs of the game, I think twice all the way through, and here or there picked apart everywhere else. But even I can tell the exploration and environmental areas is so much better in the original game than the remake. Even if the remake did a better, more fleshed out, focused story. I think characters is where it could go either way, depending on the person. For me, remake does it better because of Carlos. Purely because of Carlos. Maybe there's minor touches in the original game that didn't make it to this one. Oh my god. I've got a cat to go kill. I'll be back in a second. Alright. I'm back. Yeah, I think characters is where it goes either way. There's minor touches in the original that aren't in the remake that could probably enhance the story and the characters. Like, I know there's something to do with Dario. Like, you can go back to that van later on in the game and he's a zombie. And you can't do that in this game. Because obviously once you get to the... Once you leave after Nemesis chases you in downtown, you can't go back. There's that split moment where you go back to some of the map when he's shooting rocket launchers at you, but that's it. You know, after he chases you out downtown, that little split rocket launcher thing, and that's the rest of it you see. Right? It's gone, it's done forever. You know, so yeah, the characters can go either way. Carlos is so much better. I think all the other characters, Nikolai, Victor, Tyrell, even Murphy, someone as minor as Murphy, I think are all done better. They're well acted, you know, they're well represented. And of course Carlos, just like I said, I can't get enough of Carlos. He's been enhanced to 1,000,000 degrees in this game. It's my god, it's amazing. I think the biggest contention with this game, character-wise, is Jill Valentine. Like I said, they took some layers from her that she probably could have used, but I can understand why they aren't there in that moment, in that time frame. Like I said, she's like 2 months removed. Right? September... No, she's... August, September... Yeah, she's 2 months removed from the Spencer Mansion incident. And like I said, she's being continually shoved down, put down, ignored, rejected, and suspended because of her push to reveal what happened at the Spencer incident. The Spencer Mansion incident, you know? She's trying to get that out there and everything, and she's just waiting, biding for her time to leave Raccoon City so she can pursue that angle in a different manner, because she knows she's not going to get anywhere in the police force. You know, some minor gameplay things here or there. Like, gameplay for me, obviously, I prefer this game better because I can play it. Right? I'm not terrible at the controls in this game, whereas I am with tank controls. Like, OG tank controls. I mean, if the tank controls in the original games were like the Resident Evil Remake tank controls, then I could play them and beat them, for sure. But they're not. They're a lot more clunky and more hindrance-y than Resident Evil Remake's tank control version. Even Resident Evil 4 itself is a kind of more upgraded version tank control. These games, I think, give you the illusion of tank controls, but they're not. And, you know, it's just a weird thing. I like the story in this game better. I think the environmental diversity and the exploration is much better in the original. I think 90% of the characters are done justice, if not supersede expectation in this game. And the rest of the 10%, you know, it's just minor details that weren't in this game, like the Dario situation, or the mixed bag that is Jill Valentine's personality. Kind of shift more towards hard ass and less soft that you see in the original game. You know, and the gameplay, again, it's a toss-up whether you're OG or new or neutral. I'm mostly neutral, but I lean towards more newer game controls, like 7, RE2, Remake, and 3 Remake, and the Revelation titles. I like those controls better. I like 6, you know? I like that game a lot. I love the gameplay in 6. It's so fun. You know, 5 and older, I guess there's that sweet spot of 4 and 5. You know, that transition. Right, because 4 and 5's controls aren't like 6 Revelations, Revelations 2, and 7 Remake 2 and 3. And they're not like Code Veronica 3, 2, 1, and 0 either. It's a transition between the two. But even then, I still like the control style of 5 and 4 much better than the OG tank controls, just because, again, I can play those. I can play 4 and 5 just fine. The combat, the gameplay in that game doesn't seem all that hindrance to me as compared to, you know, the OG tank controls. Like I said, if they would remake or re-release Resident Evil 1, or I guess not Resident Evil 1 anymore, but 2, 3, and Code Veronica with Resident Evil 1 remakes tank controls, I'd be content. I'd be happy. I'd play the hell out of them, and I'd beat them. You know, because then I'd be able to play it. And of course, Nemesis, the big change with him is that, you know, they put a parasite in him. The Las Plagas, as everybody assumes, or has it been confirmed? I can't remember. And, you know, they gave him a nose. People were upset about that, which I don't see. It kind of makes him more menacing and humanizes him a little more because he has obviously a mutation from a human, I think. Maybe that's just the movie. I don't remember. Either way, I feel like I've been talking on too long. Resident Evil 3 is mixed bag. I think it does justice to the story, and it accomplishes what it set out to do, which is streamline the story, make the story accessible to newer players, modernizing the game, and making the story more cohesive, like with Resident Evil 2 Remake. They're both designed to modernize these games, as well as making the story more concrete and cohesive than the originals did. Because the originals were a little more vague with their alternate routes and different combinations of A-B runs and the likes. And honestly, if I kind of want them to go back and do this to Resident Evil 1 eventually, but if they don't, I'm fine too, because I think the original Resident Evil remake is perfect as it is. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Again, I don't know what I'm doing next. Kingdom Hearts 3, Uncharted Lost Legacy, or Resident Evil 4. I think it all depends on how long this Resident Evil bug of mine is going. Because if Resident Evil 4 comes out soon, then you'll know the Resident Evil bug stayed. If it's Uncharted Lost Legacy or Kingdom Hearts 3, then you know it went. And the Kingdom Hearts bug started, or I just wanted to play Uncharted Lost Legacy because I feel like it's going to be a shorter game. Like 2 Remake and this one. So I hope y'all like the video. Give, you know, comment if you want. I'm all frazzled right now. I just am. Subscribe if you haven't. That'd really help me out. And ta-ta for now.